have to do at this point, right? If you're like me, you're stuck in the house, and I've been quarantined in the house now. I believe this is day 12 or 13, getting pretty close to being able to, go out and about again, but gonna stay indoors. So I hope you guys are all staying safe and staying in the house or doing what you need to. And hats off to all those who are medical care workers and first responders. I know that you guys are doing above and beyond. So with that being said, I'm gonna give some time for people to get into the live chat, and we'll go ahead and start our Q&A. I had a few of you guys ask some questions. Probably won't be as long of a Q&A than it normally is because we didn't have a ton of questions, but if you guys have questions and you guys would like to ask some questions, you can go ahead and ask them in the chat box and I will answer them as quickly as I can. So with that being said, I'll give you guys a few minutes to get settled in, sit on your couch, sit wherever you're at, and we'll start the Q&A. And as I said, I'm doing okay. I'm still in the house. I think I've got a couple more days on my self quarantine, and then I can, go to the grocery store. So, hi to everyone that's joining the chat. Hi, everybody. Go ahead and jump in. And as I said, if you guys have questions, I will ask them or answer them for you in the chat. But we did have some people write in with some really great questions tonight, so we'll try to do that. Just want to let everyone know Anna's doing okay. She's also staying in the house as much as possible. Her health is all right. She's had some issues and stuff and hasn't feeling too well just with her surgery complications and stuff. So she is staying in as well. So all of us hopefully are staying in, staying safe, washing our hands, and staying 6 feet or more away from people. I know it's tough. I know it's drives you crazy. And unfortunately, scammers know we're stuck in the house, so they're taking advantage of that, and they're trying to, they're trying to get us to talk to them and talk to them with fake profiles. So I hope you guys can hear me okay. We've had connection issues and issues with the page just being slow in general. So if you guys can't hear me, let me know. I'll try to fix the sound. I've got it up as loud as I can get it. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So with that being said, we'll start off with a few things. And if I get disconnected, I'll come right back. As I said, the internet's been very, very slow where I live lately, just because I think everybody's online. And so it takes a little bit of time for me to respond and get going. So hi to everybody. Thanks for joining. And I'll start off with a couple things. As I said, scammers know that a lot of us are quarantined in the house, and so they are taking advantage of that. We've had fake doctor profiles, fake world health workers, all types of fake people, coming and making profiles and scammers, and they're trying to get us to talk to them. I will say this: keep in mind, real doctors, real nurses, real healthcare workers are not online right now chit-chatting with you, wanting to get to know you. They're not talking to you, wanting to be your friend. They're not doing any of that. What they're doing is real healthcare workers are out there working 15 hours a day, taking care of people. So if you're suddenly getting a lot of people on your messenger that are doctors, healthcare workers, that type of thing, it's a scam, and it's going to be a scammer. As I said, real healthcare workers are not sitting online chatting with you. So anytime you get a friend request in the next couple months, weeks, whatever it is, and it's a doctor, or it's a World Health or UN or Red Cross, it's going to be a scammer, and they're taking advantage of this pandemic to try and scam victims, and unfortunately it's happening quite a bit. So just be very vigilant. And I know that a lot of people are looking for love online, and who wouldn't want to meet a rich doctor? But the doctors you're meeting on the internet are not doctors, they're scammers. So just please remember that. One thing I wanted to bring up, you guys have asked, and Jenny, I will bring up about the um, stimulus money. Um, we had our post to page option taken down for a little while. It was something that I did, and Ann and I both agreed on it. Um, I want to go over to you guys what happened so you understand why we removed it and what is going on with that. So about a year ago, or a little over a year ago, someone on our page, not us, but someone that visits our page, posted on visitors post a profile. No one probably really looked at it. It wasn't a big thing. I didn't even know it was there. And the gentleman whose profile was posted, he came to our inbox and he emailed me and he made some threats and he said, I'm working for the Attorney General of Texas. If you don't remove my post, I'm going to come after you and have your page removed. I've reported you, blah, blah, blah. So I emailed him back and I said, well, let me find the post because I don't even know who you are. I went through our archives a little over a year ago. Someone posted it to the page. Wasn't us. I removed it. No big deal. Whatever. And I told him, I said, it's been removed. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Hey, didn't know. I didn't post it. Our page didn't post it. It was a visitor that posted it. Well, that wasn't good enough for him. And so he sent another email basically saying, I'm going to remove your page, your channel. I'm going to come after you. I know attorneys. I'm powerful. I'm this and that. So I went to an attorney that I deal with. I went to Facebook Legal, and basically they have told us the same thing they tell celebrity pages and everything else. You are not responsible for what other people post and spam on the page or whatever. So I wrote him back, explained all this to him. He hasn't responded to me. He spammed our page the other day, which I took screenshots of and sent it to the attorney so they're aware what's happening. And at the end of the day, we did no wrong. We didn't post his profile. We removed the post someone else did. It's a spam page. And basically, Facebook Legal explained it to me as, let's say, for example, someone like Ellen has a fan page and it's run by Ellen, but someone spammed the page saying you could win money and someone got scammed. It wouldn't be Ellen's fault. So it's the same purpose with this. This gentleman has gone to several regulars on the page and made threats to them. He's gone to several other anti-scam pages and made threats. Long story short, the man's profile looks legit. However, his photos are on hundreds of fake dating profiles. So he's a victim of identity theft. But as I tell you guys, the same thing I've told people in our inbox who've been getting threats from him. If he's threatening you, bothering you, harassing you, report him. Report him to Facebook. Block him. Don't engage with a person. But legally, we did everything. Post a page for a little while just to sort everything out and talk to legal, and I got it back on. So our posted page is back, so you guys don't have to worry about it. Just as I tell everybody, if you have a profile that you're not sure of, you don't know if it's real, you don't know if it's fake, you don't know what's going on with it, bring it to the inbox so we can take a look at it, and then we can determine what it is, because people make mistakes. People have their photos stolen, fake profiles are made, and then the real person with their real profile may come and say, hey, this isn't me, this is me, whatever. But you know what? At the end of the day, everybody's human, and people need to be a little bit more kinder. So, Colleen, I'll PM you his name, but he's going around to a lot of anti-scam pages. So, I'm going to go ahead and spamming the page. So, anyone that spams a page, we ban them instantly, no matter what it is. We're not here to click on links and be spammed with garbage. This is a anti-scam page to learn about how not to get scammed. It's not a page for garbage. So, moving forward, we're going to start off stimulus checks. So if you live in, I believe Canada is doing a similar thing, and if you live in the United States, we're doing stimulus checks. The government is giving us all some money so we don't starve to death. And if you're like myself, you're not working right now and you're not getting paid to sit home. So the federal government is going to be issuing stimulus checks, and how it's going to work is if you have a direct express card from the government, which is a lot of people have their social security and stuff put on that, it's likely to load on there. They're going to take your tax information. A lot of us will get direct deposit, like myself. I use the same bank account that I've had for years. And so with my tax refunds and stuff, they're going to go ahead and likely put your refund on that. Some of us will get checks. Scammers know this. Scammers watch the news. So keep in mind a few things. One, the federal government is not going to message you or call you asking for your bank details. They're not going to call you to verify your information for your stimulus check. They have all that information in their database for when you file taxes. They're not going to ask you to get an iTunes card. They're not going to ask you to load the payment onto a Visa card or anything else. So if you get anybody that's telling you that, or somebody that talks to you and says, oh, I need your bank information to get your check, it's a scam. Now that scammers know that people are getting large amounts, I mean, depending on your financial situation and as far as your family and stuff, there's people that are going to get $2,000 and $3,000 a month for the month payment. Myself, I'll probably get about 1,000. So, um, scammers know this. It's a gold mine. So please, please, please be ultra, ultra careful in the next month because scammers are going to hit you up for those checks. They're going to want that money. So please don't give it up and do know that scammers do watch and they do know what's going on in the world. So they'll try to get the money from you. So just be extremely careful. And the next thing I wanted to bring up really quick is shipping. So what's happening is scammers are messaging people that sell, buy stuff online, buy on Amazon. They're sending random emails to people and random text messages. And it's scammers will say they're from Amazon or they're from Walmart or wherever you order stuff online. And what they're saying is, oh, we can't ship your item because we need extra shipping because the truck drivers are short, so we need to pay them more. And they make up whatever lie they can make up. Keep in mind when you order something online and you've paid for it, you've paid for the shipping, that's it. They don't come back to you and say, oh, it's going to be another $500 for shipping. There's going to be another. It doesn't work that way. So if you've bought something online, you've paid for it, and someone PMs you or sends you an email, and it might even look like an email that's from Amazon, but it's not. Just throw it out, block it, don't even answer it, because scammers are taking advantage of this pandemic by trying to get money from people for shipping goods. Same thing goes for items. You want some hand sanitizer and there is none in the store. Don't believe someone that PMs you and says, I can sell you hand sanitizer. I'm with such and such company, and it's a fake company. And scammers are creating fake websites to try and get people to order stuff online and get their credit card information. So only buy from reputable people, only buy from reputable companies, and don't engage in somebody that PMs you and says, "Oh, I've got masks. Would you like a mask? They're $5 each," and then you give your credit card info and you get scammed. So be very, very, very careful. Debbie, there's a lot of PCH Publishers Clearinghouse fake profiles in Instagram. Could you please explain what type of scam these would be? Sure. So a lot of scammers will create fake publishers, clearinghouse, fake lottery, um, Facebook, Instagram. And what happens is they PM victims and they say, you've won the Publishers Clearinghouse, you've won $10,000, congratulations. And so people are like, oh, wow, that's great. And what they'll tell you is, well, we have your money, but you need to pay the processing and claims fee, and it's $200. And if you give us your credit card or bank info, we can go ahead and process it. And what people do is they say, okay, and they give their bank info, or they wire $200, or they buy $200 in iTunes cards, and they give it to the scammer via online. And sometimes the scammer will actually have you fill out this fake looking form from Publishers Clearinghouse, the lottery, and they'll get your money. Worst case scenario, they get your bank account information and they ask for your login details, and then they go online and they take your money. So, and they lock you out of your own bank account. So keep in mind, like Publishers Clearinghouse, the lottery contest, they're not going to PM you on Instagram. They're not going to PM you on Facebook or Hangouts. And that's part of the scam. If they can get $200 from you for processing your claim, or they can get $1,000 from you for the delivery fee of your imaginary check, that's kind of how they work. And people are falling for them. People are getting scammed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars thinking they've won hundreds of thousands of dollars. Publishers Clearinghouse never asks for money. The lottery never asks for money. And keep in mind, there is no Facebook or Instagram lottery. So you'll never win money through Instagram or Facebook in some kind of lottery. Sheila, why does a scammer start off using great English and then reverts to broken English and copy and pasting? That's a dead giveaway. They're getting smarter. I'll give them credit for that. You know what it is sometimes is so you'll be talking to a scammer online and you'll talk to him from say 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. And then the next morning you'll talk to him from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. It might be a different scammer using the same profile. So if you have a bunch of scammers that work together, and let's say you have four of them that live in a house, and they're all using that profile to talk to people, to victims, you might get one that's very well educated, speaks very good English, types very well, punctuation, everything's great. And then the next person that takes over for that shift might be someone that's not as educated, that's not as westernized and worldly, and they may not be able to spell, or they may not be able to speak carefully and speak properly. And they may even not even know what you've told them before, so they'll ask the same question. And that's generally what happens. And that's why you end up getting, we've had a lot of victims come to us and say, well, I talked to Bob Smith yesterday, and man, I told him my whole life story, and he knew everything, and he spoke good English. And then a day and a half later, I spoke to him again, but he didn't know what I did for a living, and he couldn't spell. And so that means you're talking to two different scammers, generally using the same account. Jenny, I can check that number after the Q&A and see where it is. That's a lot of numbers. So I don't know if it's, I'll have to check it after, but I will check it for you. But hi, Peggy. Hi for everyone who's joining. So we'll get a question. Someone wrote in wanting to know. I was talking to someone online who I later found out was a fake slash scammer. I gave this person a picture of my social security card, my license, and my mother's maiden name and my personal info. What can a scammer do with this, and should I be worried? You should be very worried. Best case scenario, the scammer takes your ID and he or she creates a fake profile in your name. And when a dating site or social media site asks for your ID to prove you're real, the scammer will actually use your ID. Since he has your social security number, your full name, your information, your date of birth, your mother's maiden name, if he asked for that stuff, he's going to open an online bank account in your name. He's going to open credit accounts in your name, credit cards, Cash App, money transfer, Bitcoin. He's going to use you as a vessel to wire money and create fraudulent activity. So what I would recommend to you, since you have a social security card, you live in the US, go to ftc.gov, let them know what's going on, put a freeze on your credit, and then also contact the police and get a police report just so you have it in case there is identity theft that happens. And 6 months from now, you end up with, a poor credit rating, and, you end up with like, a bunch of loans that you didn't fill out and you're responsible for them. So cover your bases, freeze your credit. I have a freeze on my credit all the time, so no one can open accounts in my name or any information until they actually get, you know, um, they get like a code or a certain thing to do. So just keep that in mind. That's the best thing you can do to stay safe. And block that scammer, whoever you were talking to. Next question. Have any scammers told you they've been sick with coronavirus? And if so, what did they ask for? Yes. In fact, Betty, my lady profile the other day, spoke to a gentleman who said he is sick with coronavirus. Said he was trapped in the United Kingdom and he couldn't get out and he didn't know what to do, and that he was going to die. And he asked for money. So yes, scammers do to be sick. One of the more popular things that they're doing right now is they're saying that they have their child is sick. And so they pull at the heartstrings of people and they say, well, my kid is sick and my kid has coronavirus and I need money for medical. And so, yes, they are using this virus as a way to get money from people. So keep that in mind. Be very, very, very careful. And above all, don't give money to people you don't know, and don't fall for that type of scam. We all, care about kids, and we don't want people and kids to be sick, but it's 100% a scam. Joanne, how can these scammers get caught? It's a good question. Um, it's rare that they get caught. So we have victims that come to our inbox all the time and they say, you know what? I want my scammer caught. How do you do it? I want him arrested. How do you do it? They don't get arrested. And that's why, internet scamming is so prevalent and such a successful scam, a successful crime. Because most of the time, these scammers live in places like India, Pakistan, Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Turkey. They scam from countries where there's a lot of corruption, and a lot of times, the police there are going to do very little. Secondly, the scammers are working in places like internet cafes where they're elusive. They have different IP addresses. They hide their IP addresses. They have victims and people in different countries pick up the money. So the money's not traced back to them as much as it would be if it was, um, someone that just directly went and picked up the money. So it's rare they get arrested. A lot of these scammers are young kids. They're, between the ages of 14 and 21, 22 years old. And, we've had scammers name, address, phone number, picture of their house. We've had everything, and they still don't get caught. and that's just the way it is. I mean, there's so much corruption in these countries that they're not getting caught. And keep in mind that there are scammers that are working for government agencies over in Nigeria. There's scammers that work at the EFCC or assist in financial crimes. So it's tough and it's frustrating because I know people want their scammer caught, but a lot of times it's just not going to happen. And it's a crime that a lot of criminals do because they know it's very rare that they get caught. And if anyone gets caught, it's going to be the victim who acted as a money mule rather than the actual scammer. And unfortunately, they know that, and that's kind of how it works. Next question we have. I've been talking to a man online who says he's trapped in the UK and must pay a special private government plane to fly him home. He asked me for $5,000. He sent me pictures of the official document from the government. Is this person real? And is the government flying people home, but they have to pay first? He says that he can't fly in a regular airline because they're closed. So let's talk about this. You're talking to a scammer. I'll tell you that right now. But here's the issue. Um, there are people that are trapped in countries. Like there's people that have gone to say Morocco and they're visiting their boyfriend is on, and they can't get home because their flight was canceled. The government is flying people home that are stuck, but this is how it works. From what I've been told on the news, they have to sign a promissory note that they're going to pay whatever amount back in installments, kind of like paying back your taxes when you owe taxes. And they're not charging people $5,000. I believe it was between 1,000 and 1,400, depending on where in the world they are. And they will fly them back. They don't make them pay up front. So if someone's telling you that, it's absolutely a scam. Sheila, why are scammers talking more on the phone? I love when they talk on the phone. Um, Profile older white gentleman, but on the phone you can tell they're Nigerian or from Ghana. They used to never talk on the phone. Now I've had talked to three in the past 2 days. Anyone else experience it? Yeah, I've had some that'll talk on the phone, and I've had some that refuse to. So I think it depends on the scammer and it depends on their voice, because when I chat as Betty on dating sites, I push for voice chat because I want to record them. And a lot of them will not talk on the phone because they know that their accent is very heavy depending on where they're from. But I've had more and more want to talk on the phone because they want to move faster in the scam. So um, they're not gonna talk to you for 6 weeks on the internet when they can just talk to you on the phone for 2 or 3 days and then hit you up for money. And you can say a lot more on the phone than you can in typing. So a lot of them that are quick movers that want to get that money and get that stuff, they want to talk on the phone. And so they want to move quick. They want to get money. They want to waste on chitter chattering with you on the internet and typing for weeks at a time. So that's kind of why they want to do that. Sometimes too, they want to talk to you on the phone because they want to hear your voice. They want to make sure you're not someone like me that's scam baiting them and trying to get their information. They want to make sure you really are that 35-year-old single woman, and you're not a 45-year-old guy playing with people. So that's kind of why they do it. But you know that's the main reason. And a lot of them, you're right, Betty. A lot of them will video chat. I've had a lot of them ask me to video chat when I talk to them as Betty, and so I have to move on to a different scammer. But they do video chat. They want to make sure that you're real. Now, mind you, their camera will be blacked out, but they'll want you to be on camera. And I've had some that'll tell victims, well, I want to talk to you on camera. You need to stand up and move around like this, and so they will do that. And just to prove that you're real, they want to prove you're real because they're not going to waste time chatting with you if you're not a real person and if you're scam baiting them or messing with them. So next question we have: I've been chatting to a man online for 3 months. He was supposed to come and visit me. He's in the army. He was deployed to Afghanistan, and now he said he's being deployed to Los Angeles to keep people in their home. Martial law. And the army is forcing people into their homes. He said he can't meet now for a few months, but needs an iTunes card as all the stores are closed in Los Angeles. Hmm. And he is going straight from Afghanistan to LA. Should I get him a card? No. No, you should not get him a card. And no, people in Los Angeles are not martial lawed into their homes. America, and California in particular, is you are to go out, when you need essentials, pharmacy, grocery store. You can take a walk in the park if no one's around, walk your dog. The U.S. Army is not being deployed to, um, you know, Los Angeles to keep people in their homes. Um, it's not that way yet, and it hopefully it won't get that way. But as far as needing iTunes cards, I'll tell you what, I live in a county where we've had a lot of cases of coronavirus. I have a store across the street from my house. I could get up right now and go across the street to that store and buy something. I could buy an iTunes card right now if I wanted to. So no, it's not working that way in the United States right now. There are restrictions for people. We're supposed to social, but we're not locked guns to our heads. Um, the U.S. Army, the National Guard is in New York City, putting guns to people's heads and bolting them in the house, or arresting people, for going to the pharmacy. So here's the thing, scammers are using this fear tactic to try and get money from people, and anyone that's in the army is not going to, you know, Afghanistan straight to the streets of LA. It doesn't work that way, and with the coronavirus right now, it wouldn't work that way. So you're definitely talking to a scammer. Don't buy them an iTunes card. Don't give them nothing. It's a scammer. And it's not someone in the army, that's for sure. Next question. I received a message today from a man with a government official Facebook page. That's always fun. Uh, he said in order to get my stimulus check, I have to give him my bank details. Is this legit? No, it's a scam. We went over this, and it's no government officials are going to message you via Facebook and ask. So it's 100% a scam. Next question. Do you think there are any legit single doctors online looking for love? No. No. You know, this comes down to, oh, Anne's on the page. Hi, Anne. It comes down to people that are doctors, people that are people that are, have very prestigious jobs. They tend to date and find people within their circle. So let's talk about this. Um, you're online and you meet a gorgeous, hunky looking doctor straight out of, Grey's Anatomy looking. And he says he's been so lonely, he can't find love. He doesn't know what to do. He needs you. That doctor is going to find either another doctor to date, or a nurse, or someone that works at the hospital, or someone that works in the medical field in his town. Doctors are not lonely, sitting home wishing somebody could be their. Same thing goes for famous people, musicians. Musicians are not sitting on the internet messaging fans wishing they could have a romance with them. It doesn't work that way. So, you know, if you're looking for a doctor and you don't want anybody else but a doctor, go work in a medical field. Go work at a hospital. Go volunteer at a clinic. That's where you'll meet doctors. You're not going to meet a rich, dashing, handsome doctor on Facebook. It just doesn't work that way. Why doesn't eBay or other gift cards verify who used their cards and where they sent the merchandise to and provide that info to the original purchaser? They should. I think it'd be awesome if they did, but they don't. Companies don't care for the most part. Legally, all they have to do is tell you, put a little notice on their thing saying, don't buy cards for people you don't know, and that covers them legally. There's nothing else they have to do. When, these gift cards, they don't have to because, legit people sometimes do buy gift cards for a friend online that they don't know. Like I have a friend online that knows a lot of kids in Ghana they're legit. They're not scammers. They're actually, teenage kids in Ghana. And, if she were to buy them an iTunes card because she knows them, but she doesn't live in that country, that creates an issue because they are legit buying. But there has to be a better way, I think, to track these gift cards. And scammers have found a way to use these gift cards as money instead of getting Western unions, because we've kind of, as a nation and as a world, we've kind of curtailed that where it's harder for them to pick up money, but it's really easy for them to pick up gift cards. So it's become a new currency, and unfortunately, I think more people need to do more to track them, but they're not. And I think it's just companies just covering themselves legally, and that's all they have to do. What if you search an image and can't find anything? That comes down to what is the person telling you? Because scammers will steal photos of people that are unknown. They go on social media sites and they may steal the photo of a guy named Bob Jones and he works at Walmart. No one knows on the internet who this guy is, but he left his social media profile open, so scammers took his photo. When you don't get a search result on photos, then you have to stop and you have to ask yourself, what is that person asking of me? What's their story? And so that comes down to being detective. Don't assume that because you don't get a hit on a photo that the person's real. What's the story? Are they an army man deployed? Are they a widow with one child? Are they an engineer? Are they a gold buyer? Are they working in Malaysia but from the state? Are they from Texas but work in Florida but have a nanny for their kid in Arizona? Look at all the facts and what the person is telling you so that you know if it sounds fishy. And also what they're asking of you. Are they asking you for money, your bank account, your bank details? Are they asking you to buy them a gift card? So when a photo search doesn't work, look at what they're telling you. What if you image search several images and nothing comes up? It means nothing. It means that whoever the photo is stolen of, it could be someone just unknown. Like, I'll give you an example. If I go onto Facebook right now and I type in Bob Jones, 40,000 Bob Jones profiles are going to come up. And I can go down the line and say, and so I pick Bob, Phoenix, Arizona. And this Bob Jones works at a car dealership changing oil. So I'm going to steal 5 of his photos and I'm going to use them. If you were to Google his photos, they won't come up because he's not famous, he's not popular, and his photos haven't been used in a scam yet. So that's what's happening is scammers are stealing photos of people that are unknown, and it's giving people that are questioning this a sense of security because they say, well, um, his photos didn't come up as stolen. His photo is, his name is Bob Jones, but when I Googled his photos, it didn't say his name was Tom Smith, so it must be real. No, it just means they've stolen photos from someone that's unknown. So just keep watching what they're saying. And if you're saying to me that they're saying they're a widow with a little kid and they're an engineer, army man, blah, 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 it's probably a scammer. If you have their profile and you want to drop it to the inbox, click message and drop it to me and I'll take a look at it. What it's about. Just keep that in mind. Engineer on an oil rig, it's a scammer. And here it comes down to we've kind of said this in the past, people that work on oil rigs, and I used to actually be roommates with a gentleman who worked on an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico. And he lived in San Antonio, Texas, and he would take the bus to Padre Island and helicopter them over. Um, Engineers on oil rigs are busy. They have lots of money. They make tons of money. And they can video chat. They can video chat with you on the oil rig, and people don't realize that. My friend, he would video chat with his girlfriend while on the oil rig. So, um, to me, it sounds like you're talking to a scammer. If he's telling you he's an engineer on an oil rig and then he takes care of his daughter, you're talking to a scammer. It's my nanny takes care of my kids, and that it's a scam. It's a scam. Saw a fake profile on your website, been messaging with him on WhatsApp for a couple of months, never asked for money, but using Bitcoin as bait. Oh, Bitcoins are popular now. They don't always ask for money. Bitcoins are more valuable and they're nearly untraceable. So that's pretty much why they use them. Hi to everyone who's joining the chat. If I miss your question, just ask it again and I'll try to grab it. I've had people write in questions as well, so I'm trying to do like both at the same time. Next question. I'm talking to a woman online who claims she's deployed to Afghanistan. She has even video chatted with me, showing me the area she is deployed. How can a scammer get a hold of such videos if she's fake? Really easy. So if you video chatted with her, did you ask her while on video chat to write your name on paper to her face? If you didn't, then you're probably talking to a video recording. Scammers will go online. They go to military fan pages. They go to Instagram, where a lot of military men and women have open profiles, and they have videos of themselves at a shooting range. They have videos of themselves. Not necessarily, some are deployed. Some have taken videos inside Afghanistan, but the majority of them are taking video of them doing target shooting practice at a shooting range. And scammers just right click on that video, they save it, then they play it for you while they're on Skype or while they're on Hangouts. It's very easy to do. The fact that you're claiming you're talking to a lady who's deployed to Afghanistan, um, I would ask her to write your name on paper next to her face. She won't be able to do it because you're not talking to her. And keep in mind, you're probably talking to a guy, and it's probably a little Nigerian, Ghanaian, Indian guy. So just remember that. Real military men and women that are deployed are not chit chatting online to strangers. And they are out in force at the moment, Trudy. You're right. We get tons and tons of profiles this week. The inbox right now is jammed full of people that are sending fake profiles from doctors and military and world health people. So hope you guys can hear me okay. Some of you are saying you can't hear me. I don't know if it's my connection or yours. I've had issues with my internet. So if you can't hear me, just know I'm talking really super loud. My neighbors can probably hear me. Next question. What do you think scammers will do now that we cannot get to Western Union or Walmart to Walmart transfer money or buy gift cards? Question. What I think they'll do is they're doing what they're doing now. They are telling you to go online and download Cash App, because with Cash App, you can just link your bank account to Cash App and you can go boop and click with your phone and send money anywhere in the world to anybody. So apps, they're using PayPal, they're telling you you can buy me a gift card online. Just go online to the Apple Store and buy me a gift card. Or go online. You can buy me the gift card instantly and give me the numbers. And that's what they're doing. Just because we are all stuck in the house doesn't mean scammers can't get access to our funds. They're asking you to transfer money. They're asking you to accept money and be a money mule and then wire that money out. That's what they're doing. So just because we are stuck doesn't mean, they can't get something from us. So, you know, it's just happening. It's just they're finding a way, and they always find a way. So keep that in mind. Always, always, no matter what. The end of the world could be coming, and a meteorite could be falling to Earth, and they'll find a way to ask for money. Why they ask for my bank account, also PayPal account, username, and password, and they put an excuse to make sure the money they transfer was okay. I know that is a private thing, and we are hiding something in the bank account. They ask for that. They tell you, hi from Puerto Rico. They ask that because what they do is they use it as an excuse. Okay, so they will say, "Hey, I need to check your bank account to make sure that money got in there. Can you give me your username and password?" And so a lot of victims will say, "Oh, okay, here you go." As the scammer goes in there, he changes your secret questions, your secret your PIN number, changes your password, changes your email address that you have linked to your account, takes over your whole account and locks you out. And then he starts taking your money, he starts transferring money, he starts doing, that kind of thing. So that's why they ask. And so if anyone asks you for your password to check something, it's not a good thing to do. It's not a good thing to do. Just say no. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they can't hear me really well. So if you guys can't, I don't know. Like it shows my sound working. So if it gets worse, I might pop over to YouTube and do a Q&A over there just to answer the same questions over there if that might help. Elizabeth, how are you feeling doing? I'm okay. I am currently unemployed and stuck in the house for like 2 more days on quarantine. I'm not sick, thank God. But I'm out of a job for a little while. I'll be employed for a while, unfortunately. Uh, How are they able to use Cash App if they're not in the USA? Really easily. So what they do is they'll have a victim open a Cash App account, and the scammer will say, "Oh, open." They'll use a reason for to get an American to open a Cash App, and Cash App is available in U.S., Canada, and Australia, and New Zealand. They'll have them open it, and they'll ask for the password. and then they'll use that Cash App to send money to other people. So let's say you have a victim in California who opens for a fake profile, and that scammer has another victim in Florida. That they'll have that victim in Florida send that money to the person in California via Cash App. They'll tell that person in California, my secret special agent friend, sister, brother, nanny is sending you money via Cash App. Go ahead and cash that money out. So you cash that money out, it goes into your bank account. You can then use the money in that bank account, and the scammer will say, transfer it to this bank account. And so what they'll do is they'll bounce the money all around until it ultimately reaches their destination, which is usually where the scammer's at in a country like Nigeria. They play shuffle around with the money, and that's kind of what they do. They'll send money, to one victim to another. So we have victims that'll say to us, I sent the money to California, and then I sent some money to Connecticut. So the scammers must be in California and Connecticut. And I'll say to them, well, who'd you send the money to? And so we'll get their information. We look and it ends up like the victim in California that accepted the money is on social media and they have tons of fake profiles as friends. So they're a victim as well. Once you send money to someone else in the States, usually what happens is that victim will pick up the money thinking they're picking it up for some other reason. The scammer could have told that victim that you're a military agent paying their retirement. They take that money and they'll usually wire transfer it out of the country to a different country. Give you an example. A scammer working in Nigeria convinced a victim in Connecticut to send money to another victim in California. That victim in California was told to send that money to someone in Singapore. That victim, another victim in Singapore, was told to send that money to Nigeria. So what you have is you have money that went to these different locations like a spider web, and it ended up ultimately going to the scam. So that's why it makes it hard for people to trace scammers, because they bounce the money around. They shuffle it around and they know what they're doing, and that's what they do. So I've got a couple more questions, and then I might pop over to YouTube later if you guys want to join me. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Scamming Scammers, you'll get a notification if I go on there. And I do have victim stories that I'm working on. People have been asking for them. I do have them. I just have to record them. Next question. I'm talking, this is a good one actually. I'm talking online to a man who says he works as a manager of a department store. He says he lives in Texas. No red flags, not a widow, not a single father with a little tiny kid, tiny child. He hasn't asked me for anything at all. But when I call him, it's a Google Voice number, and when I ask him to video chat, he says he's not allowed to video chat due to his work. He has never asked me for anything, and we've been talking a while. I recently found his photos on scam sites. Could I be talking to the real man? And have you ever had scammers use a profession that is not typical, like engineer, doctor, or army man, but instead say they are store managers, painters, real retail workers? Yes. Okay. I've had scammers that have told me they a cashier at Walmart. I've had scammers who have told me that they fold clothes in a department store. I've had scammers tell me that they work in a grocery store. We get used to the same notion that they're engineers, oil rig workers, doctors. Some scammers do use different professions, and it's a way to kind of trick victims. The fact that he won't video chat, and if you're a manager of a department store, you're going to video chat. There's nothing special about your job. It's not a secret job. So I would be very suspicious of him. He'll probably ask you for something at some point, and he may even use the excuse that he's working in a store and there's an issue and he needs money. So I would be very suspicious, and this comes down to, again, demanding he video chat with you and write your name on paper and hold it up next to his face while he's video chatting with you. If he won't do that, send him packing. Next question. I was talking I found out he was fake and I told him off. Then I went looking for the real man to let him know his pictures are stolen. I have fallen in love with the photo and I hope he is single. God. What advice do you have for me in trying to contact the real man? I want to help him and hope he might like me. This is a pet peeve with me. So you're a victim of a romance scam. You fell in love with the man in the photo. You found out you were talking to a scammer, and now your only hope and desire is to meet the real man and make the real man fall in love with you. So this comes down to, and I get really rude with people sometimes with this, is the man in the photo doesn't know who you are. I had a lady a couple weeks ago who was convinced that she was going to make the man in the photo fall in love with her. Even though she had been talking to a scammer, she was convinced the man in the photo is going to fall in love with her. And I told her the man in the photo doesn't know who you are, doesn't want to know who you are, and is not going to fall in love with you. And she got really nasty with me and she said, "You're wrong. I'm going to find the man in the photo." And I said, "Okay, go for it." She came back a couple days later. "I found the man in the photo. He says he knows his photos are stolen and he says I'm beautiful." And I looked, I said, "Well, that's another fake profile." "Well, how do you know?" And I showed her. And she said, "Well, I'm going to find the man in the photo." She goes, "Do you know who he is?" And so I finally told her. I says, "Yes, it is Jim Newman from the Village People." And she said, "Well, he's going to love me. He's going to be with me." And I said, "Well, for one, Jim Newman is very openly gay. He's not going to fall in love with you. I hate to break it to you. And two, these men in these stolen photos, most of the time they know their photos are stolen. A lot of these victims of photo theft are married or they are openly gay. A lot of scammers, for some reason, and I'm not sure why, use photos of openly gay men, men that, like Jim Newman. I've seen people use photos of Elton John, and they romance women with these photos that are even flamboyantly gay, which, hey, that's cool. But I mean, these women think that they're going to fall in love with this man in the photo and they're going to make this man love them. Um, but don't go looking for the man in the photo because most of the time you're going to find out that one of a few things are going to happen. He's going to be married and he's not going to want you. It'll be a photo of someone from the Village People, and he's definitely not going to want to be with you. Or it's someone that has passed away. They use a lot of fallen soldiers photos. Or it's somebody like Stuart James who knows his photos have been stolen. He's taken himself off social media. Or it's going to be the someone like that soldier that's on Instagram. I don't dare say his name, who thinks it's funny that women are victims of his photos of scams, and he will tell you off. He'll tell you you're an idiot. So at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that the person in the photo doesn't know who you are. They don't love you. They don't like you. They've never spoken to you. They've never sent you love songs. They don't care who you are, and they can't do anything about their photo being stolen. And you are likely the 500th woman of the day who has come to him and said, "Oh, honey, your photos are stolen. Let me help you. Let me, just move on. Move on with your life. Move on with all of it, and just move forward. Because the longer you stay obsessed with the man in the photo, the longer you're not living your life. And so just keep that in mind. The man in the photo doesn't know who you are. The man in the photo doesn't care. And it's not like a movie where the man in the photo is going to go, "Oh my God, I've fallen in love with you." It just doesn't happen. In all the years I've been doing this, Anne will say the same thing. Nobody has ever met the man in the photo and they've fallen in love. So keep that in mind. You're more likely to meet another scammer. So we have a couple more questions, and then if anyone's got questions, ask them. Otherwise, I'll wrap this Q&A up for today, and I might go on YouTube later, depending on how things go. Um, so it's kind of a question I've already answered, but future of scams. What do you see happening in the scam world now that everything's turned? This comes back to I see them using Bitcoin, I see them using PayPal, I see them using Cash App and online money transfers. That's what I see them doing, and more and more and more. Stuff like that. They're going to use Cash App. They're going to use, PayPal. They're going to use so. And last question we have: what should I do if I know it's a scammer? Should I play along? Should I confront him or block him? Anytime I block, he keeps coming back asking why I blocked him. You should block him. You shouldn't play with a scammer. And you know, some people like to play with scammers, and I'll say this: I play with scammers and plays with scammers. We've been doing it for a lot of years, like almost a decade. And I've been screwing around with scammers online since the 90s. Um, do not do it if you don't know what you're doing. Don't bait scammers and don't play with them unless you absolutely know every inner working system of your phone and computer and you have antivirus stuff, and you know how to work it. Because a lot of these scammers, and I've even been stalked by a scammer who was able to get my phone number. And how he got it, I don't know, but he did. Um, don't play with scammers unless you know what you're doing. Don't play with them unless you know how to use your software on your computer. Don't play with them unless you know how to cover yourself and who you really are, because they will come after you. They will go after you for sure. So please, please, please remember that. And the best thing I can tell you to do is block a scammer. Never confront a scammer and tell them you know they're a scammer. Don't play with them. Don't say, ha ha, I put you on a scam page, because that's going to infuriate the scammer, and it's going to cause problems for people like us and pages like us. And it's going to, because that scammer may come back and come after you. Just block. And if they keep coming back, just block them. Because at the end of the day, a scammer is going to move on to somebody who's going to give them money. They're not going to keep talking to somebody who keeps blocking them, because it's a waste of their time. They're online to screw with you. And some scammers do stalk victims, but it's not all the time. And so you just need to keep blocking and blocking and blocking and move on. Have you seen a scammer use their own photos but a different name? Yes. I've seen scammers use their real photos and a fake name and say, this is me. My real name is John Smith, and it's not John Smith. It's some. Yeah, they do. They try all different things, and they even try to scam you as themselves. They'll come online as their real name and their real photo and their real profile and say, I want to be with you. I love you. I want to come to your country and live with you. And they do all of that. So anything can happen. And that's what you need to keep in mind. Absolutely anything can happen. Scammers use their photos, they use their name, they use fake photos, everything to try and get the money. So just remember that. And again, at the end of the day, it's about staying safe. It's about what the person is asking of you. If they're asking for your gift cards, your bank details, if they're asking for a code, a lot of scammers now are just saying, can I have your phone number? And so you say, okay, and you're talking to a profile online, you give them your phone number. A few minutes later, you get a text and it's a code, and it'll say, your Facebook code is 1234. That scammer will say, I sent you a code, dear. Can you give me that code so we can finish our talk? What they're really doing is they're using your phone to register a fake profile. So if you ever get a code to your phone and you didn't ask for that code, you didn't sign up for it, don't give it to people, because it's just a scammer trying to use your phone to register a fake profile, whether it be on Instagram, Facebook, or a dating profile. So don't ever give people a code if they ask for it. I talked to scammers, and two of them came clean and showed me their face through video chat after 6 months of talking, but they can't break me. Yeah, they do that. A lot of them do confess, and they say, well, honey, I'm online because I'm so poor. I need money. I'm online because I don't have money for rice. Again, I talked to a lady a couple months ago that actually was very knowledgeable to me. And we spoke on the phone for a couple hours about Nigerian scammers. And she was a lady from New York who actually went to Nigeria to live with her scammer. And he had told her, the ins and outs of scamming, and she had actually got involved in scamming with him. And she now does not do it anymore, and she's back in the States. But what she told me was very eye-opening, because she actually lived in Nigeria around a lot of the Yahoo boys. And what she told me was the really, 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 really poor people of Nigeria don't have electricity, don't have running water, don't have access to cyber cafes where they pay by the minute, don't have access to computers, don't have access to cell phones. So if you're talking to somebody online and they tell you they're extremely poor me, I'm starving, but I have an iPhone, I'm talking to you and chatting with you online through text messenger, through Hangouts, whatever, for hours, going to college, and I have all these things, they're not poor. They're a lot richer than 80% of the people in Nigeria. So just remember that. A lot of scammers use the excuse of I'm very poor, but the truth is they're not that poor, because the really poor are people you're never going to talk to from Nigeria. So dating sites like Badoo, they are on Badoo. Badoo is bad. Badoo is full of scammers. Tagged is full of scammers. High Five is full of scammers. I mean, every site's full of scammers. And I had someone ask me the other day, why did I meet my scammer? I wasn't on a dating site. Scammers are everywhere. You don't have to be looking for love online to meet a scammer. They're on dating sites, but they're also on Pinterest. They're on, you know, chat blogs. They're on Reddit. They're on news channel blogs. They're on religious blogs. They're on political blogs. They're all over. So they're not necessarily always just on dating sites, and we get this notion that if I'm not looking for love online, I'm not going to get scammed, and that's not true. Scammers are on all sites. They're on crafting sites. They're pretty pathetic. They're even on sites for parents of children with cancer online and pretend their child has cancer just so they can get money from you and get sympathy. And it's sick, but it's the truth. It's how they work. So just remember that. I want to know, does Hangouts still run online? It's still working. I had a scammer yesterday ask me to go to Hangouts. They've kind of revamped Hangouts in the way that it's set up, but it's still working. There was a rumor that Hangouts was closing, and it's not. It's just that they've kind of changed the messenger service and how it more caters now more to your phone than it caters to computer. So Hangouts is still in the Play Store. It's still a free app, and it's still used by scammers every day, and it's gonna stay, unfortunately. Um, all the guys I talked to came to me. They were military, so don't never talk to them. Yeah, I mean, Lisa, real military guys are not messaging random women online. Doesn't Just doesn't work that way. We have a couple of retired military people who write notes for our page. They confirmed with us a million times over. Real military guys are not sitting on the internet chit chatting with you. They don't want to know what you're doing. They don't need your money. They don't need clothes. They don't need iTunes cards. They don't need medical. Okay, so and that's why a lot of people because they get all these benefits. So Hangouts and WhatsApp is the worst. It is. WhatsApp is horrible. I get asked to go to WhatsApp 50 times a day from scammers. Plenty of Fish also, yes. Plenty of Fish is full of scammers. My profile Betty is on Plenty of Fish, and she gets plenty of scammers on that. They are on all sites, but some are worse than others. Facebook, they still has a lot of fake profiles on Facebook, but not as many as Instagram. Instagram is the new Facebook, so a lot of scammers are on Instagram. A lot of scammers are on Tagged. I made a fake profile the other day on Tagged as Bardine. I made Bardine a and within 10 minutes, it's 100 fake profiles messaging her. So they're everywhere. There's no way to get away from them. And I don't use WhatsApp either. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't use Hangouts. People have asked me, "What's your Instagram?" I don't use Instagram, and it's just full of scammers. Completely full of scammers. Um, I never knew scammers were religious. That blew my mind. Scammers are very religious, and it's not fake. Um, I had a lady that was scammed recently, and this is kind of a messed up story, but she was studying to become a Catholic nun, and she was online doing scriptures and learning about everything and just going through her studies, and she actually met a scammer who also pretended to be in the Catholic religion. Look, I talked to this guy and he gave me, it wasn't a romance thing. It was just a casual friendship, and we exchanged scriptures and we exchanged, Bible stories and thoughts on religion and God and being Catholic and all these things. And I said, yes, scammers are religious, and it's not a fake. They are very religious. The scammers in places like, I'll give an example, like Nigeria, you have a lot of Muslims, you have a lot of scammers that follow Islam, you have a lot of scammers that are Christian, and then you have some Catholics too. And so they go to church every Sunday. They go to church. They go to these evangelistic churches and places like Ghana. It's a big controversial thing because there's a lot of evangelical pastors, preachers in Ghana, and these people, these scammers, go to church every Sunday. They read the Bible, they pray to God, but they have a really twisted way of looking at things. They think that God is sending them victims, that it's a blessing. So a victim to them is seen as a blessing. And it's not uncommon for scammers to be religious and be able to sit with you and quote the Bible. And unfortunately, a lot of really nice people who are Christians and who are Muslim get scammed because they start talking to these scammers, and they're very knowledgeable of the Bible. They're very knowledgeable of the Quran. They know all this stuff because they actually do believe it and they study it. And so, Colleen Evans, what about Sardine? Sardine can't be on the internet. She's too ugly. So as you know, Betty, my fake old lady profile, she has a sister Bardine and a sister Sardine, and Kyle, the son. Kyle has a fake profile on Tagged, and he has been getting a lot of women. Those are all men. So, Instagram was my first experience with scammers, and it was a great lesson. Yeah, Instagram is a breeding ground for scammers. And the thing with Instagram is, you have to keep this in mind. Facebook is owned Instagram, and they own WhatsApp. And so Instagram is becoming harder and harder to get profiles deleted. Um, they tend to not delete them, and it's kind of a breeding ground right now for fake profiles. And unfortunately, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. Do you help track down any scammers? Um, no, I mean, yes and no. This is hard to answer. What we do as a page, we're not law enforcement. We don't work in law enforcement. We're not police officers. We're not any of that. We're just people that are educated about scams. Um, and myself, to our capacity, what we do is if you bring us information about a fake profile and you're a victim of a scam, we'll review it, we'll investigate it. And if it comes to like bank accounts being used and victims losing a lot of money, we direct information over to how to file a report with the FBI. We teach you how to do all of that stuff. We're just a vessel in this. When we're helping people get to where they need to be and file the things they need to file. Person to a scammer and he's asked for a lot of money. I had one the other day that asked me for $80,000, and they asked me to put the money into a bank account in Massachusetts. I tracked the lady down on social media because he gave me her banking information to deposit the money. I tracked her down. She had a lot of fake military profiles as friends. I contacted SunTrust Bank's fraud division and I let them know what was going on, and they gave me a case number so that they can work with, um, investigators to try and get some information, maybe try and close the account or figure out what's going on. But as far as us tracking scammers, I mean, I've tracked scammers right to their front doorstep, as far as from their fake profile all the way down to where they live, and turned it over to the EFCC, and basically I got, oh, okay, yeah, thanks. So we do all we can do, but again, we're not law enforcement. We have no jurisdiction over any of it. We're just here to help. We're just here to educate, here to help, and here to get you to law enforcement if you need it. Josephine, why video chat to show who they are and tell you the real name of the person in the stolen pic? Okay. Why video chat to show who they are and tell you the real name of the person in the stolen pic? If you're referring to why would scammers do that, there's out of desperation, like they try to confess to you and say, look, honey, here's my real name, here's my real photo. I used a photo of General Carterham. Um, it's a desperate attempt. Like if they can't get money from you as their fake profile, they'll confess to you and try to weave another story to try and get you in their good graces, and try and scam you as themselves. I've had a lot of scammers confess and tell me, they've never done it before and they'll never do it again. And the truth is, they've done it before, they'll do it again. They're doing it while they're telling you they're not doing it anymore. So it's kind of a tactic that they use to try to emotionally manipulate you. Maybe I've changed the scammer and they won't do it anymore. But the truth is, they continue to do it. They always will. So just keep that in mind. Brenda, I do not know who to trust. What are the red flags on a celebrity? Sure. Celebrities won't talk to you. I know that sounds cruel. Um, okay, let's say this. You're online and you love, I don't know who to bring up, Lady Gaga, just for fun. You love Lady Gaga and you are on her official Instagram page, and she posts a photo and you message her on things like, oh, thank you, that was a great photo. I love you. I love your music. Once in a while, and it's happened to me. Like I've written on famous musicians' official pages. Like I love the band Poison, and so Brett Michaels, I wrote on his page, well, thanks for all the music, thanks for everything you've always done for the troops and what you've always done for everybody. And he replied to me on the actual page and said, thanks, man, I appreciate it. That's going to be your limited interaction with celebrities. That's going to be it. And you may get a heart once in a while on YouTube from a celebrity if you write something nice on their page, and I've done it and I've gotten a heart. But that's where it ends. So going back to, we're on Lady Gaga's fan page and we wrote on her page, "Oh my God, I love your music." And all of a sudden your messenger lights up and it says, "Oh, thank you." And it's Lady Gaga. Um, that's going to be a scammer. So what you have to do is remember, and I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but myself, I'm not special. So when I write to a celebrity fan page and say, "Thanks, I love your music," I know that I'm not going to get a reply to them. I know that Lady Gaga is not going to reply to me and say, "Thank you for being a fan. Here's my phone." It doesn't work that way. And so that's where we have to keep in mind that those are red flags. So if you're talking to a celebrity online and they message you, or they want to add you to their secret account, or they want you to have their secret phone number where you can call them, scammer. Real celebrities don't give you their secret number, they don't give you their secret contacts, and they don't PM you. And like I said, the majority of your correspondence is going to be on their page. Thanks. You might get a thumbs up, you might get a heart. That's it. That's all you're going to get from celebrities. And it's hard because a lot of us love our favorite actors and favorite musicians, but scammers know that. So scammers make fake profiles of the celebrity and they troll the celebrity's fan pages looking for people, looking for victims. So just remember that. And you know what? A lot of musicians, I worked in the music industry for a lot of years, and I've met a lot of famous people. Like I've met Prince, and I've met, all Celine Dion. I got a kiss one time from Celine Dion, because I actually worked at the concerts. And so, you know, celebrities don't go out looking for people to talk to. They don't go out looking for online for fans. They don't go online looking for love. And the same, works for when you're in person. If you go to a concert and you see your favorite musician, they're not going to come up to you generally and say, "Oh, I've been looking for you my whole life. Here's my phone number." Think of it that same way in person. As it is online. They're not gonna talk to you and private message you. And another thing when it comes to celebrities, and I will tell you this, meet and greets. So we've had a lot of victims that have come, and I had a lady come to me a couple weeks ago. Her favorite singer, country singer, she said PM'd her and asked her if she'd like to do a meet and greet for a private dinner, and it would be $500. And so she ended up wiring $500 to the special agent, which was some guy in Florida who was probably a victim. And then she never met the celebrity. It's the same way. Meet and greets do not work that way. They've never worked that way. Um, you know, Meet and greets generally happen at the concert. And if you're lucky enough to get a pass, win a pass on a radio station or something, great. But on the internet, meet and greets don't work that way. You don't pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to somebody on the internet, or you don't wire money to a special agent for that. Uh, Gloria, you had a request from Toby Keith on Instagram. Lucky you. Lucky you. I had a lady the other day that had the singer of Coldplay. I don't know his name, Chris something, and he messaged her and said that you know she was a special fan, and she was like, "I don't even really like them." So, um, yeah, musicians don't friend you unless you know them. Like if you know a musician and you've met them in person and you've worked with them, or then yeah, they might friend you. But the majority of them, if you don't know them in person, they're not going to be your friend. And unfortunately, we all want that special connection, but it's not going to be online like that. It just doesn't work that way. And the same thing is for YouTube stars too. YouTube stars are a little bit more approachable. I've spoken with some YouTube stars on YouTube, that are pretty well known, but at the end of the day, they don't ask me for anything. They don't ask me for money. They don't ask me for. They say thank you, hey, hang in there, how's your channel, that kind of thing. But that's going to be it. So those are just things to remember, that when it comes down to being online and talking to somebody that you really um, like a musician or someone famous. Same thing goes for like Ellen and Oprah. Ellen's not giving away money. The Rock is not giving away money. That Sparks guy, I see him a lot. He's not giving away money. Celebrities don't do that. What's his name? Tyler Perry. He's not paying your bills. So just be mindful of that. because a lot of victims come to us who've been scammed that way. So, but anyway, so I've out of questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm a while and do some YouTube videos. I did a video the other day where Betty called a scammer and talked to him and said she was trapped in her house. So I'm hoping to do stuff. And I'll have a victim story video out this week. I just haven't had a chance to record it. So, and again, if you have a story you'd like to tell, you can inbox us by clicking message at the top of the page, and we're happy to narrate your story into a video if you'd like. So, but if no one has any more questions or comments or wants to know anything, I'll go ahead and end this Q&A for March. And like I said, I'm currently unemployed due to the coronavirus. So, you know, if a Q&A is something you guys want to do every week, or let us know, and we'll try to do one once a week if we can. Or if you have any questions, you can always inbox us, and we're happy to help you. So, thanks you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. If you want to find me later, I might be on YouTube, and you can come to our channel and have a chat with me. But again, if you need help, inbox is open. Click message, click the message icon, and it brings you to our inbox. So thanks for coming out. I appreciate you guys very much, and be safe, and just make sure that you stay safe. We don't want anything happening to any of you guys because we love you guys to death. And so be well, be safe. Come say hello in the inbox, and we'll see you guys next later. Bye.